Hey everyone, welcome to another episode. Myself, Dom Warner. Today we're actually talking about Tesla. As you can see, I've got the hat on, rocking it today. We're actually talking about today the fact that you can actually now buy a Tesla, so Model 3, Model X, Model Y, Model S, any of the models that currently got out with Bitcoin. Now, I'm not sure if you can actually do deposits with Bitcoin, for example, putting a deposit or to reserve, say, like a Cybertruck or something like that. But yeah, you can actually buy a Tesla with Bitcoin now. So what actually happens is when you actually go on to Tesla's website, Tesla is pretty notorious for not having any independent dealerships. So that means like franchise dealerships or dealerships that are owned by individuals. They're all owned by the company, and generally you go in there and you can't really buy a car there. Obviously, the people that work there can walk you through the process on how to buy a car through their website. But they're mostly there just for picking up your car, any issues you've got with your car, so they generally have a service center behind them. But also to give an experience to people who haven't driven or seen a Tesla before. So they're pretty open with people going and having a look and sitting in the car, and quite often they'll offer you a test drive, whether it's them just getting in the car taking you for a spin, or whether it's an actual booked in test drive where you can jump in and have a drive for yourself. And they're generally pretty open to this. I went in probably 3 or 4 years ago, and they only had the Model S and the X here in Australia at the time, and I was sitting in the Model X, and then he said, do you want to take it for a drive? And I said, look, can't afford a Model X, but I'd love to take it for a drive. I absolutely didn't expect them to take me for one, but they actually let me drive it, my friend who was with me at the time, and ever since then I've fallen in love with Tesla and Tesla's products. And I don't own a Tesla myself, but I quite often hire one on weekends to go visit family and friends. If it's long distance, I don't just hire it just to drive it around my local city, Melbourne, but to drive it around and experience it, whether I'm going 100 to 300 k's along the way, and learning the experience of range anxiety, dealing with those complications, so that I can actually provide better value to you guys as well when I do these Tesla videos. Now, obviously, with Tesla's ability, with the ability to be able to buy a Tesla with Bitcoin, it's quite interesting how different companies are dealing with it. Obviously, Lamborghini is a company, and quite a lot of other big companies that build these huge supercars or very high-priced vehicles have offered Bitcoin for quite a while. Lamborghini is one of the notorious ones, but obviously now with Tesla offering it, it's interesting to see what's the difference between them with Tesla and how they're offering it, and how everyone else is offering it. And I was actually going through Tesla's terms and conditions and their refund policy and things like that with the use of Bitcoin. Obviously, a lot of other people are talking about this as well, which caught my attention. So one thing that I wanted to go over is I actually saved a screenshot from the refund and buyback section. And I'm going to go over it now, because as we know, with things like this, is there a catch? And I don't know, you can decide whether you want to call this a catch or not, but I definitely wanted to highlight it. So as you can see here, they offer refunds and buybacks, right? And this is pretty standard, especially in the US, where by law you sort of have to offer these things. But the thing that I wanted to go over is what I've highlighted here. So obviously, if you're entitled to a refund or payment or to a buyback, Tesla reserves the right to refund to you either the exact Bitcoin price that you provided to them at the time, or at the time of purchase, or at the amount of the US dollar that is equivalent to the US dollar price of the product that you purchase at the sole absolute discretion. Right? And then it says down the bottom, you assume the risk of Bitcoin price depreciation and appreciation and will have no right to select the method of refund. Now, obviously, if you want to go through what this screenshot, and I'll put a link in the description to where I actually found this on the website. But I find that quite interesting, the fact that they can choose the refund method. So, say for what I'd be interested to know is if you brought the car with Bitcoin, right, and you paid so many Bitcoin for it. Say you paid 1.2 or whatever it is Bitcoin for the actual vehicle. If Bitcoin then goes down lower in price, is Tesla saying that, hey, that's okay, we understand that it's gone down lower in price, but we're going to refund you at the US dollar value? which means you haven't really lost out? Or does it mean that they're going to pay back exactly what you paid in Bitcoin? Therefore, technically, once you convert it into Bitcoin, once you convert it into the US dollar price, you're actually getting less back than you actually paid for the car. So that's an interesting thing. I'm not making claims here. I'm just trying to read between the lines and come up with my own conclusion to what they're actually trying to say. I'd like to think that what they actually mean is, hey, if you pay with Bitcoin and it turns out that the Bitcoin price went down, it's okay, we're going to cover you with the US dollar amount that you paid. But at the same time, Tesla obviously did invest, or not invest, but they obviously brought $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin this year, which does suggest to me that when they actually do get these payments via Bitcoin, and you do actually have to send them to a Bitcoin address, it's not actually using a platform that converts the money into US dollars. That means that Tesla is holding that Bitcoin. For how long, I'm not sure. I'm sure that would change too. But I don't believe, obviously, with them using that method, unless they're trying to escape transaction fees, I don't believe that they're actually, transferring it into US dollars straight away. Sounds like they're actually holding on to it a little bit. So I think this is, I'm hoping that this refunds and buybacks policy is a way for them to both protect themselves and also the consumer. That would be the best way. But obviously here it gives Tesla, the right to decide what refund method they actually want to use. So if you're going to buy a Tesla with Bitcoin, make sure you remember that before you do. Look, I know this has been a short video, but thanks for watching. If you do actually want to invest in Tesla, obviously, come to your own conclusions and whether you want to invest or not. I'm not a financial advisor or anything, but I do have a link in the description for eToro, who offer 0% commissions on your stock purchases. So click on that link below. We both get a little bit of a bonus. Thanks very much for watching. Appreciate it a lot. See you.